Hello friends, you're watching Johannes. Before we start our review, let's make our disclaimer. This video doesn't contain any type of financial advice, so be sure to do your own research before investing. Over the past week, the crypto market has gone through what many call a sharp correction, a period of sudden price drops, liquidations, and uncertainty. If you've been following the discussions on X, you've probably seen the reactions. Traders trying to make sense of the volatility, users expressing frustration, and questioning flying around about what's next for Binance and the broader market. For some, the October 10 and 11 liquidity event was a structural breakdown. Nearly 19 billion vanished in hours, not just from panic or leverage, but from a coordinated withdrawal of market maker liquidity. It began right after Trump's tariff announcement. Within 40 minutes, market depth across exchange collapsed by almost 98%, triggering a chain reaction. Order books emptied, insurance fund drained, and auto deleveraging forced even profitable trades to close. As you can see, what should have been a normal correction turned into a systemic meltdown. There are some key angles for all of us to consider. Comparing order books across exchanges to detect coordinated withdrawals, mapping latency between platforms to trace liquidity movements, correlating insurance fund used with liquidity depth to measure buffer depletion, examining top MMs like Wintermute, Amber, GSR for concentration of book depth, back testing post bottom re-entry for profit timing strategies. This article from YQ is perfect place to start if you want to understand the unexplored causes. What I can understand from this is that market makers didn't lose control. They acted logically, with advanced insights in positioning and risk. They pulled liquidity to avoid losses, then re-entered at the bottom to profit from arbitrage. That way, those meant to stabilize the market instead amplified its collapse. So, we can say that the real failure wasn't technical but structural. In crypto, market makers have no obligation to stay during stress and every incentive to vanish when it's most damaging. Until exchanges enforce accountability and transparent liquidity obligations, each downtime risks becoming another engineered vacuum, where market makers turn from protectors into catalysts of chaos. Given all these, it is nice to see that Binance decided to act. Instead of waiting for things to calm down naturally, the company launched a structural recovery plan, the 400 million Together initiative. Now, I appreciate this a lot. Because in such times, Binance show how big they are by giving the users something they can generate during these times. When it comes to it, the Together initiative is built on two main pillars. 300 million in USDC token vouchers for users who were hit hard by forcing liquidations and 100 million in low-interest loans to help institutions and ecosystem partners recover. That way, Binance is addressing the market from both directions, helping everyday users to get back on their feet, while also giving professional participants the liquidity they need to stabilize operations. So, we can say that this isn't just about recovery. It's about restoring momentum and showing that the market still has a backbone when things get rough. Let's start with the biggest part. 300 million compensation plan. This fund will go to users who experienced forced liquidation losses between October 10 and 11, 2025. To qualify, users must have lost at least $50 equivalent, and those losses must represent at least 30% of their total net assets, based on a snapshot taken on October 9. Anyone who already received compensation from earlier programs won't be eligible. Binance plans to start sending USDC within 24 hours and finish the process within 96 hours, straight to users' spot accounts. Of course, with the scale of the distribution, there might be small delays, and Binance was upfront about that. As you can see, this isn't about making promises later, it's about taking visible, immediate action. What I can understand from this is that Binance is trying to rebuild trust through delivery, not talk. Next, there is a 100 million institutional support fund. This part is meant for ecosystem and VIP users who were seriously affected by the volatility. Institutions can apply through their account managers, and Binance promises quick processing and confidentiality. That way, the bigger market makers and ecosystem players can restart operations without long delays, which also helps ordinary users by keeping market activity stable. So, we can say that this second part of the initiative acts like a backbone of their system. It keeps liquidity flowing, which helps reduce panic and restore confidence faster. One thing is Binance made very clear is that this plan isn't admission of liability. They are not saying they are responsible for users' trading losses. What they are saying is that they believe in shared recovery, that confidence in crypto needs to be rebuilt collectively. As you can see, that's a subtle but important distinction. Binance is showing leadership by acting responsibly without overpromising. It's a move that fits with long-standing focus on putting users first, even during rough times. What I understand from this approach is that Binance knows confidence in the most fragile currency in the space. Once it's shaken, the only way to get it back is through clear, transparent action. Now, if you look at the bigger picture, this initiative isn't happening in isolation. Every major correction in the crypto's history has forced the industry to evolve, and this looks like another one of those moments. By injecting 400 million in the direct support through users' compensation and institutional loans, Binance is essentially creating a stability circuit in the market. That way, users regain short-term liquidity, while institutions regain operational stability. Both sides benefit, and the market as a whole become less fragile. So, we can say that the Together initiative could become a model for how exchanges handle crisis situations in the future, balancing responsibility with action. Binance is also encouraging users to stay informed, manage their exposure, and trade responsibly. If you want to read the full details, you can find them here. The links are in the description box. Official announcement, Binance Together initiative, and Binance X post. As you can see, the Together initiative is a measured response to a real problem. It shows that the industry's biggest player is willing to put capital behind its words and take the lead when confidence starts to slip. So we can say that this moment will probably be remembered less for the market drop and more for the how industry choose to recover from it. What I can understand from Binance's move is that rebuilding confidence doesn't come from denying volatility. It comes from facing it head-on together, and they should be appreciated. Before we close, I have a surprise for you. Binance offers a poll for Yuhani subscribers only with 2K prize. If you're interested in, leave a comment down below. And that's the end of this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and check out for more. See ya.